You know, you're one of the first, I think, right, in terms of Nepali the, you know, in terms of like being out there, vlogging and all of that. How did that get started?
I was a very bored teenager. So I was 14, 15 years old, living in the UK, had a lot of free time. So I decided to create a blog called lexlimbu.com. So this was back like 2008, 9 period. And in those times, I guess, I'm not sure if I was good, but I guess there wasn't plenty. So my timing was good. And a lot of people from the UK and elsewhere got to know my blog and got to know things that were happening because I took so much interest in especially entertainment and arts back then. And I think that's how it all started.
I know, awesome. And I think you've inspired a whole generation of people to follow, right, in terms of being out there and showcasing. So you've definitely done some amazing work. Tell us about, you know, where were you born? You know, how was your childhood in Nepal and in the UK? Kosto थियो, you know, growing up.
I was born in Dharan, but when I was two, my parents and I left Nepal and we then moved to Brunei. So my childhood was in Brunei until the age of like when I was 8. So Brunei, very hot, lots of, you know, being outdoors. It was really fun. It was like a dream childhood. And then in the year 2000, we moved to the UK. So I had been living there up until February this year. So my childhood in Nepal has been very limited because from like 0 to 2 years of age, I have no memory. But what I can say is there were periods in my life when I moved back to Nepal to join my parents because their British Army posting was in Nepal, Pokhrama थियो त्यो बेला चाहिँ 2 वर्ष चाहिँ नेपालमा पढेको थिएँ. And then I later on, after I did my undergrad, I went to Nepal because I wanted to have my 1 year gap year, you know, experiencing things and working because I always wanted that because I felt I never had that. I never grew up in Nepal or had my teenage years. So I had that. So it was kind of all back and forth, but majority of the time it's been in the UK.
Right, right. Um, you know, for our audience, I mean, I've met Lex twice in person. One was just like a, you know, hello thing. And this, you know, last month I got to spend a little bit of time with him, have coffee and so on. And apart from everything else, one thing that really impressed me was Timro Nepali, right? It's incredible, you know, that you have Timro diction and in terms of all of that. And there's obviously a story behind that as well, right? Being, you know, fluent in Nepali as well. Can you share that?
Now I feel so much pressure to speak Nepali. um,
No, no, it was perfect. Trust me.
खास गरी के भयो भने जब मैले भने नि त्यो ब्लग सुरु गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ ब्लग चाहिँ खास गरी नेपाली ब्लग भए पनि इङ्ग्लिस ल्याङ्ग्वेजमै थियो तर जब चाहिँ समय बित्दै गयो आई got more familiar with people in Nepal and they would send me lots of information, lots of press release type of information हाम्रो बारेमा यो लेखिदिनु पर्यो हैन अनि and then a lot of information that were rich and that were very good to take was also all written in Nepali. मलाई त त्यो बाध्यताले गरेर नि मैले चाहिँ नेपाली चाहिँ आफूले कोर्स गरेर भए पनि बुझ्नुपर्ने र पढ्नुपर्ने स्थिति आयो अनि a lot of the times त त्यो समयमा धेरै नेपाली फिल्म हेरेर नै पनि मेरो नेपाली इम्प्रुभ हुने खालको स्थिति भयो है अनि त्यो हो सो मेरो अब सिम्पल भन्नु पर्दाखेरि नै त्यसरी नै मेरो इम्प्रुभ भयो because to say that you don't know something, to say that you don't understand also sometimes feels like I don't know त्यो समयमा चाहिँ एउटा सेन्स अफ कस्तो लाज लाग्ने हुन्छ क्या but now I realize it's completely fine as well because I've been away from Nepal and my whole life has been outside of Nepal, right? But I did not to tell somebody that I didn't know. So उहाँहरूले press release पठायो भने मैले हुन्छ हुन्छ म पढेर म गरिदिन्छु भनेर भने and then I'm just looking at all the letters and thinking, oh my god. Till this day, sometimes when we talk about figures, I'm still like, it's definitely under 6. I know, like the arts or whatnot, but under the zone. But I think each on side, you become much more comfortable to tell somebody that actually
Exactly.
I don't know the number. Can you explain it to me? And it's completely fine for me to not know as well because that was never my medium. And also कति ठाउँमा हाम्रो मौका पनि हुँदैन नि त हैन सिक्ने पनि but also learning is good. Learning is good, and it like activates all parts of your brain.
Of course, and the reason I wanted to kind of share that here is for the same reason, right? One is that you were open-minded and wanted to try is amazing, and two, I think there's a big chunk of our community that do not speak the language or don't understand it, and now it's also fine to say, okay, I don't fully understand it. Can I get some help on it? I think there's no to लाज लाग्ने हुनु पर्दैन के, right? There's the definition of being a Nepali is this big range, right? And we're all sort of in that somewhere. So that's what I wanted to kind of share about it.